99.3 Nigeria. Info is 7:30 from our studios this morning. You're welcome to the second part of Dailies today. We're live from our audio-visual studios on Etimi and Crescent Victoria Island. You can watch us live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can be a part of our conversation this morning. We will start by introducing ourselves. Let me allow the ladies. Sorry, let me allow the.
Sheriff, I think you just got a vacation. Morning, everybody. My name is Jimi Disu.
I'm Sheriff Quadry. Good morning and thank you for joining us again. Let's start with the panorama page of the Punch newspaper. First 30 days, Tinubu takes positive, painful steps.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a story written in the Punch by a gentleman called Stephen Angbolu. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so excuse my sniffing. Now, the first thing I'd like to know is if this gentleman is a staff of the Punch. Because really, what this is really is just like a PR exercise, trying to, to paint the first 30 days in bright colors. And the first 30 days will be determined by you. Everybody's marking points will be completely different from the other. So, but it's been the first 30 days, though some things have been commendable, inevitable, but it has also been 30 days of pain. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. What I find most worrying about the first 30 days, just one item mainly, and that is where the president said that his team had advised him on something, and then unilaterally he went on his own tangent. That is a very dangerous part of governance. For somebody who said specifically that it would be a joint, when he was asked questions during the campaign, he said it would be a joint whatever. Two, we have enough evidence from people who have spoken, people who should know that the template given to the president has not been followed. Some of these things are supposed to be sequential, one leading to the other, okay? But in one fell swoop, in a question of 7 days, you remove the subsidy, then you devalue your currency as it were, because that's the effect, all in just one fell swoop. And in that 30 days now, we hear that even market people who are going through a lot of pain are going to have to pay VAT. So this when I read this article, I had to quickly browse through it because I saw a dangerous little headline, sub-headline, and he titled it "Mouth-Watering Palliatives Proposed." I mean, for God's sake. We need to be treated in a better manner. Don't tell us about any mouth-watering palliatives. What are mouth-watering? Is everybody going to be given a free car? Are we going to be given 50 liters a day fuel in buses and whatever? What is mouth-watering? Our journalists need to be careful. The analysis of Tinubu's first 30 days, like I said, depends on the individual. Okay? But to have this in Nigeria's major paper and you say mouth-watering palliatives, it worries me when I see a headline like that. Mm-hmm. Talking about subsidies, I've asked a question once here. Is it that subsidies are bad or that we have problems implementing them? I don't see anything. In principle, subsidizing fuel in an oil-producing country like Nigeria is no big deal. But we blew it because, as usual, all kinds of factors, extraneous factors came in. And before we know it, it had ballooned almost 4 times the original amount it would have been. Other countries subsidize health, they subsidize public transport. There's nothing wrong in the country subsidizing. But we are not ready to take the bull by the horn, so we find the easy way out. If we can't run the subsidy program, then that's it. Everybody suffers it. And so for me, the first 30 days, one thing that it does though, it shows, a man who has 50 times more knowledge than his predecessor. and who is a bit more decisive, but he needs to be very careful. He needs to. I heard a listener this morning, very, I'm sure it's a supporter of the APC, where people have to be taxed, let them be taxed. Excuse me, we are not talking of numbers, we are talking of human beings. And so let's treat these things with levy. We are talking of a country that has almost about 60% unemployed of the youth. I mean, so let's get real. We are beyond, for God's sake, people who call in. We are beyond the elections now. The rest is going to be determined by the Supreme Court. But do not let us offend the sensibilities of others. If we are in our own comfort zones, let's just be thanking our God. But to come in public and then just think that anything the man does is right. These are the people who will jolly well be his. I said it before, during Buhari's time, that those who are hailing him on would be his nemesis, and see where it landed, see where it ended. They've started again. The things that are being, we are in too much, in just 30 days. Look at all the economic decisions that we are hearing. It's like every day a new one, and there's turbulence in the system. The system is not settled because you are waiting for another one and another one and another one. I know there's a plan. For God's sake, follow the plan. Make these things sequential. So that's as far as that goes. But the next page is the news.
That's right. Yes, please. Let's proceed.
Okay, so let's go to the news. Accommodation seeker burns Anambra policewoman, 2 children to death. Oh, my God. And this is a woman, Nayamaka Nwosu. She set a policewoman and her 2 children ablaze. Oh. Now, I heard the story of this one. I saw it online early this morning. This Lagos businessman that is circulating nude photos. The guy is a blackmailer. The police should rein him in immediately. The story is in the Punch here. A Lagos-based businessman, Amara Kennedy, who was accused of spreading the nude photos of 2 single mothers, has vowed to destroy their reputation after a special report exposing his activities was published by the Punch. I expect the police to grab him in because it is said here that one of the things he also did for circulating the nude photographs in the first instance, he has a question to answer. And then it was not asking. I don't want to go through this, so you don't want to waste your time. But somewhere there, he says that he was asking them for money. They paid the first tranche, and he kept asking. Let me tell you and tell you good. Never, I repeat, never submit to a blackmailer. Never. If you've made the mistake and your nude photographs are with a blackmailer, you better just let him do his worst. Because he will never. And let me also tell you, there is nothing called deleting photographs anymore. We are back in the old age when we had cameras 110 and all these things. These days, in the past, they give you the negative and the photographs. These days, there's no point. In fact, what I would tell you is that the moment anybody comes to you with anything like this, just head straight to the police and let them rein him in. Then I'd like to advise, my colleagues in the media. I don't think it's fair and tidy to keep publishing somebody's, an official's photograph when you put a story. Say, Lagos business circulates more nude photos. You now use the photograph of the CP. I mean, if you don't have the photograph of the man or the 2 women, then use an illustration. Because it gives a wrong impression of what exactly is being said. Anyway, Ogun community laments 2-year blackout, blames transformer. Educationist woman abducted as gunmen kill Benue guard. Okay, so what else from Lagos State? Lagos State, we have 4 new PAMSECs. Mr. Lawali Dowu, Mr. Bajumo Farouk, Mrs. Adekoja Ganiat, and Mrs. Kilanko Olakweri. Also, this one, APC chieftains hail Sanwo-Olu Ambode reunion. That was a nice one to see, to be very honest. I watched the video 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we need peace in the land, and it's nice to see that Ambode is back in the fold. I think all lessons would have been learnt all around.
I'm hearing some things about, Ambode movement here and there.
Yes, look, one thing I respect Bola Tinubu for, he doesn't have permanent enemies but permanent interests. His followers don't have that, but he does. He said, in fact, he singled him out. Akin, I'm glad that you are here. despite the damage that the guy did way back. And it's also to some who lose credit that he had the very open, open heart and welcomed him back to the fold. Bola Tinubu is a master politician. And what I hear, I've never met him, is that he doesn't take anything personal. In fact, he said it himself. Insult me all you like, where I'm going is where I'm going. Doesn't take it personal. Ambode is back in the fold because he doesn't want any leaks. He can't afford any leaks. That's why he's been making overtures to Bode George and so on and so forth. He can't afford any leaks. You must give him credit for that. But he needs to be careful. He's in too much of a hurry. Follow the plan that this group have put together for you with the assistance of KPMG. These are people who are knowledgeable. Let's have a homegrown economic whatever. And
what if this is the plan?
Which plan?
All the things that
No. You remember last week there was, I've forgotten the gentleman's name, who said that he wasn't for. He himself said that the announcement of the subsidy, for example, wasn't part of the plan.
Yes, that's one. But what if all of this that we're hearing now,
Ambode Zone is part of the plan?
Maybe.
No. I'm talking of the economic side of things. The political whatever. Nobody can give Jagaban a plan. When it comes to political things,
he's the plan.
He's the emeritus.
He's the plan himself.
Babadi, yeah, he's the emeritus. I like what you say. He's the plan.
Let's take a look at this quickly.
No, you turned it upside down.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Okay.
So here is the story here. It reads, FG to collect VAT from market traders, others.
Okay, I think I've mentioned it in passing, and I still repeat what I said. We can't have all these things bunched together in a very short period. Yes, it might be nice, of course. It would be nice to have whatever, but we need to space these things out. Like I keep saying, we are dealing with human beings. They're not dealing with numbers. And Nigerians are so, the way we are now, everybody is so tense. You don't even know which direction to go. Let's take these things nice and easy, okay? He needs to coordinate all this and say, look, some of the things we have in the bag, let us settle down. Okay, we're just about settling down to this new oil price and new exchange rate, and then this one comes up again. Because for a country where there are a lot of people who claim to be educated, but in reality they are not. Some people won't see the reasoning behind it if you keep loading them, and you need to carry people along. It's early days, and therefore he needs to be careful. But what he says here is that there's a VAT direct initiative, and the scheme is aimed towards enabling government collect VAT from the informal sector. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but let's tarry a while. The pressure is too much. It's like we're piling so many things up. It's like being accused of adultery. Before you know it, stealing. Before you know it, why did that start with adultery?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But one thing I would love for them to come through and explain further is this informal sector categorization, right? Because if they say market traders, they are not the only ones in the informal sector. There are others in that bracket that are not in the market or the market environment, doing businesses on their own, and everybody is in the informal sector, right? Now, for the market traders, by law, they're exempt from paying VAT if they're doing 25 million or less annual turnover.
In the new order?
Yeah, in the Finance Act. Yes.
Well, the truth is, I think all the shenanigans, all the things around it will be sorted out at time. They said they're going to go through the unions and so on and so forth. I mean, so, okay, you descend on Alaba market, for example, start with that. What they probably do. Now, it is very important that this government should not, I repeat, should not adopt the system that we use in Lagos State, farming out collection of taxes to some firm that will be collecting 15%. That would be completely unacceptable.
We have FIRS. FIRS would.
Yes, but we had LIRS, and yet you farmed it out to I don't want to go into the politics of that, but the optics are not good. The optics are not good at all. And even if you were going to a 5% markup should just about be okay. I mean, you're talking almost billions, you know. Or else people start impugning all kinds of things. It is also extremely important, and I'm glad the papers yesterday and indeed the weekend papers were all harping on the optics of both the leaders and the led. The leaders should show example to the led that they feel their pain. We don't want motorcades. We don't want all kinds of details. We don't want, if you want the mass, we need leaders now who are ready to sacrifice. To be honest with you, we need leaders now, I don't think we have any shortage of qualified people who will be ready to lead as ministers and whatever, and won't be given to thinking it's time for them to put their hands in the cookie jar. Nigerians will be watching that cookie jar very, very well now. And if they don't talk, don't think that it's over. What it is that it keeps piling up. And I think NSAS should have taught us a lesson about where such things end.
Indeed. Let's go take this story from the Vanguard, page 7 of the Vanguard. And this reads, Jamb, Mesoma trade words over result. The writers say board cancels candidates' result. I printed result from Jamb portal. Mesoma.
Okay, now this has taken some dimension that is frightening. The first thing I'd ask everybody is don't put your reputation on the line supporting either party, because to be honest with you, it is not clear, and it's a dangerous thing to do in Nigeria. The lady claims that the result she got had that 3 whatever it is, but that the QR code when she tried to access to the QR code, it produced another name entirely. Now that is what I call a discrepancy that should have been or should be thoroughly investigated. It's a pity. In the police force now, I don't know if it's true, for quite a while now, the forensic department hasn't been up and doing. It's not a job for DSS, whatever. The old CID, the whatever forensic department would have sorted something like this out. Very.
Where are the data analysts, the data scientists?
Now, people have also impugned ethnic things to it. But let me read this paragraph that I saw this morning. It says that, and now I want you to listen very well. For those of you who are saying that, it's because he's Igbo. Anyway, the person who has the highest results was Igbo, anyway, from same state. It says, Anambra State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma-Ode, said she was the one that raised the alarm after the girl honored an invitation in the process of the plan by the state government to honor her. So that puts an end to that speculation. It was Anambra State, and said that after her results was published online, she invited the girl for recognition by the state. Now, I don't know, when she says the results were published online, I don't know what that means. Was it from the INEC?
Jamb.
Was it from the Jamb portal?
Yeah.
It says the results were published online, and that when she now brought the results, so that line, I'd like to ask the Ngozi Chuma-Ode, online where? But when she brought her results, she observed that it was not directly from the Jamb printout. And that's when she raised the alarm. According to her, it was at that point she became suspicious, which made her get in touch with Jamb to confirm the results, stating that she was taken aback when Jamb told her that what was circulating was not his results. She said it was at that point that her ministry turned back the girl while Jamb began an investigation into the matter. And he goes on to talk about innocent, and Jamb are insisting. It's very simple. People say the girl should go to court. The girl is indigent. I read somewhere that she didn't. I can't remember who actually paid even for her Jamb, whatever. Why I say don't stick your reputation on any of them is I don't trust any of the two parties. It's nothing personal. It's just a Nigerian thing now. I know that there is a syndicate that tinkers with Jamb results, sits for Jamb for people. That has been in existence for only God knows how long. On the other hand, don't let me talk. If you have a body that has a glitch, that claim that they have a glitch like INEC, talk less of JAM, I mean, so you know that institutionally we are very weak. We are also unduly protective. We are also unduly protective rather than come and admit that a mistake has been made, But the girl has been banned for, she's been banned for 2 years.
About 3.
3 years. If you want to read the story in full, really, you need to read a paper produced in the North called Leadership. That's where you get the full details. I think she's been banned for 2 years and so on and so forth. It shouldn't end there, though. I expect that the police, because police are supposed to wade into a crime, not to be invited or not to be directed by, no. I expect the police to wade in, do a forensic, because our reputation is on the line worldwide. Our reputation is on the line. If we can't get our JAMB admissions right and they are faulted along these lines, then we have a big problem. So the police should go in. You don't need to start arresting and ruffling people up. Go in and do a forensic, and then whoever is at fault, they face the wrath of the law. So I can't say for sure sitting down here that either the girl did or didn't do it, or JAMB is right or is wrong. I'm not going to stick my reputation on that. You can. You don't fear anybody. So because you were accused of taking sides with JAMB this morning.
Those ones don't have understanding.
Some people don't understand our job, which is a pity. That whichever way you look at it, we must look at things from a rational and not from an emotional standpoint. I'm glad we've been able to poo-poo the ethnic, because that's how it starts.
Yeah.
That it was her state that called the attention of JAMB.
Apart from that, even the highest scorer that JAMB even announced is from the same state.
Yes.
So how? I mean,
but I give kudos. I give kudos to Mrs. Ngozi, and she was the one who raised the alarm.
Yeah.
She must be an old school teacher, of the old discipline, and wouldn't
very
let it
painstaking,
very painstaking. All kinds of rackets go on, and if care is not taken, innocent people like us are complicit, because the more we keep celebrating people like this, the more desperate other people become. You see the tragedy of our country. It's so sad. You try something and then before you know it, it's totally abused. Heaven help us all.
Indeed. Let's stay with the Vanguard newspaper. Page 8 is where we are right now. No plastic materials in Semovita, says NAFDAC.
I said, let me help these people. Because I've worked in all of you know that I worked in Unilever, and I know when you're into production, I know the challenges that you face. That was when there was no social media. My seat was very, very hot as corporate affairs, so I know what it can be like. When I saw this, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It says no plastic materials in Semovita. So what is the story? NAFDAC has said that there was no plastic or harmful contaminants in Golden Penny Semovita as circulated in the social media. And this says the agency was responding to a social media video showing a woman washing Golden Penny. Watching. How do you watch Golden Penny Semovita in a sieve? It's not a woman washing now, it's sieving.
Sieving.
My journalist. In a sieve using cold water, where she claimed the residue she got after sieving was plastic. But the NAFTA director said in a statement that the claim was misleading and asked members of the public to disregard it. And she also enjoined the public to exercise discretion in the use of social media. I still believe we need to have some element of control in the social media. Maybe it was just one pack that, for all you know, it could be fake.
It could be.
It could jolly well have been a fake pack. But I'd like to let you know that NAFTA has said that there are no plastic materials in Semovita. Well, maybe what you need to do, now's the time for you to go and buy a sieve. So that when you buy it, you sieve it just to be sure. Because it might not be from the factory, it could be fake. Do you eat semo?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Let's go take our last story on the show. This story is on page 10 of the Vanguard. Our personnel, not your domestic servants. Osun Police warns government officials.
You see where we have come to. You see, can you believe this, Sheriff? The Osun Police Command want government officials to desist from using police officers attached to them as domestic servants. But I can assure you that in the first instance, it's likely that it's a police, whatever it is, out of eye service. Let us carry it. Madam, please bring your bag. You know the way it is. Bottom line is we should stop this habit of attaching policemen to so many people. We just need to put a stop to the habit. And like I said, we can license one or two security companies, give them license to carry firearms, and you can go hire them. We are under police, as it were. But where you have one even our traditional rulers, everybody, all the big boys, if you go to the famous club, I'll go there, I just drive past the place. I don't know the name. Okay. Hilux is the name of a vehicle. So, but if you see the number of policemen that will be hanging around outside 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning, you think there's a state function going on. We need to stop this. We also need to, it's part of, this thing I'm going to do on the monsters we created is starting next week, Monday. For example, in parties, a man sits down and is surrounded by 4 policemen. If he's there for 2 hours, he'll be there standing, disturbing everybody. We need a social revolution completely. And we will start. We don't know when it will end, but we will as much as start. So, well, the police have warned them. They're not your domestic servants. They shouldn't be carrying your handbag. They shouldn't be carrying you the things or honey party. They shouldn't be carrying jerry can of petrol for you. All they need to do is to stamp their foot on the ground, salute you, and bring out their guns if you're under attack. But some of the policemen don't even carry guns, so you even ask yourself, is it for protection or is it just a matter of, I wanted to say prestige, but that's not prestige. It's a bit of stupidity. I don't know.
Yeah. We have to stop here this morning. That's our show, but you'll be back at 9.
Yeah, if my cold permits. I'm coming down with the flu. I don't know what's up, but that's it.
All right, then. Thank you for coming, sir.
Yes.
Lagos, that's our show. We go now, take a break. When we return, we'll be speaking with the outgoing British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos. We'll talk about the EU report. We'll talk about the elections. We'll talk about the results. And British relations with Nigeria. Yeah, it's coming up at 8. Stay with us.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired get fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not a